Sometimes drawing can feel really tedious, since I always draw the same pose. Though I want to become one of these great artists and have the ability to just draw the cool and stylish pose I like, but I don't know how. Until one day, I came across this 3 days challenge tutorial video. Different from my previous 3 days challenge, this new challenge focuses on drawing a character in different camera angles and poses. It supposedly can improve the artist's ability on learning human body proportions and the ability to view and draw the human figure in a 3D space. So let's see if it actually works. Hello everyone, welcome back to another painting Labo video. This time, I will share my experience on trying out Mr. Naoki Saito's 3 days art challenge. This challenge is created by Mr. Saito, a famous Japanese artist. I'll give a basic context on the 3 days plan and the practice goal. Is it really worth a while to spend 3 days on it? Without further ado, let's get started. This challenge is quite simple and easy. Here is the 3 days plan. On the first day, I'll draw a character's whole body illustration. Then on the second day, I'll use half a day to draw figures using reference pictures that shows a series of actions. And on the second half of day 2, I'll draw a pose in different camera angles using a figure doll as a reference. On the last day, I'll redraw the first day's drawing. To help those who also want to try this practice and get the most out of it, I will share 3 tips based on my experience when I did this practice, so make sure you stick to the end. Let's start drawing. The first day is easy. Just draw a whole body illustration. This is for comparison with the third day's piece and see if there is any improvement. And here is my first day's work. I tried to make the pose look interesting. I'm very excited about how it would turn out on day 3. On the next day, I did a whole day of gesture drawing. I'm using these reference books, which are the ones recommended in Mr. Saito's video, linked down below. This is not a must-buy. If you have pictures that shows a series of action, then there's no need to get a whole new book. Okay, now it's time to pick a serious pose I like and start the second day's drawing. While my recording plays, I'll share some tips I find useful. First is, I find that to make my brain absorb more from this practice, rather than just mindlessly copying the reference, I feel it is important to break down and draw the body parts like stickman or Lego toy parts. But it leads me to a problem. Personally, I find stickman figure hard to demonstrate the 3D relationship of the pose, especially when the pose has an arm or a leg pointing towards away from the camera. When I came back to my practice, I can't really tell what direction this arm is pointing. After testing out different drawing methods, I ended up using boxes and cylinders because they contain perspective information. Another thing is, when doing long hours of practice, we can't really get the most out of every hour and minute we put in. The reason is our brain gets tired and refuses to process and take in information. This happens to me in this challenge too. Day 2's practice requires my brain to process the character's body parts in 3-dimensional means. It's like modeling the character from scratch instead of my head. My brain gets tired, then shuts down and tells me just to copy whatever I see. But if I do that, I'm not really learning. So I need to refresh my brain once in a while. Constantly remind myself and restart my brain to analyze the gesture. This way, I can get the most out of this challenge. If you're enjoying the challenge and tutorial videos like this, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. After half a day, I think it's time to move on to the next step. Now start the second part of day 2. Draw one pose from different camera angles. Having a figure doll is very convenient. Any figure doll will do. I got a cheap one on eBay. Not only I can create almost any pose I want, I can also look at it from all camera angles. And since the figure doll is a real object that exists in a real space, it is a bit easier for me to analyze it in 3-dimensional means. Finally, it's the third day and it's time to check if I really learned anything in this challenge. Let's look at my first day's drawing again. 2 days ago, I thought this first drawing is pretty good, but after the study, I actually see a lot of places that need to be further improved. Let's turn the picture into lines first. Let's draw the basic structure out using red lines. When I check the ribcage and pelvis, I see I didn't draw the waist. Then I move on to check the arms. The left arm is a bit short. Let me fix it. The right arm looks alright, so it doesn't need that much change. Good. Now let me check the legs and feet. The right foot's shape is off. I'll fix this part too. Here, the left leg's proportion is weird, so let me change it. And in the end, I realized that the location of the neck is not properly connected to the torso, so I have to move the neck forward. Phew, that's a lot. I'll keep all these things in mind when I redraw this drawing. And ta-da! I got this drawing as my final result for the 3 days challenge. I paid extra attention on making sure the pose looks natural and realistic, and also twist the head a little more towards the camera, hoping to make the pose look more dynamic. But wait, there's more. Now I have the ability to draw a pose from various different angles. Here I did another drawing. It's the same pose, but in a different angle. Before, if I like the pose in the reference, I can only draw it at the same camera angle as in the reference. But now, I don't have that restriction anymore. If you also want to improve on drawing human body perspective and more natural posing, then I would definitely recommend this practice. Hope you got some tips and insights from this video before you try this challenge. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any future tutorials and challenges in our art journey. See you next time!